Okay guys, I'm going to take you through these problems. I'll do a couple of them, then you can do the other ones. So page 693, 1 through 4, we're going to go over, which was yesterday's assignment. So hopefully you watch the video. So it says 100 customers in a restaurant. So if it's 100 customers, that's the total right down here in the right-hand corner. There's going to be 100 customers total right there. We're asked whether they like chicken or beef. So we're going to have chicken across the top and beef, and whether they like rice or pasta as well. So rice and pasta down the left side. So we have columns here, 2 columns, I'm going to call them C and C, and 2 rows right here, rice and pasta. It says out of 30 customers that liked rice. So the rice customers, there were 30 here. Okay, that liked rice. Okay, 20 liked chicken. So we would say 20 goes right here because people that liked rice, 20 of them liked chicken as well. And that's how you would add that in. You're filling this table in. There were 60 customers that liked chicken. So 60 customers that like chicken. So we're going to move down because chicken customers total, 60 goes here. Okay. Construct a two-way table summarizing this data. So from those 4 items placed correctly, we can figure out the rest of the table. So if 20 liked rice, 40 liked pasta because that has to total 60. Now let's move across here. If this is 20 and this is 30, then 10 like beef goes right here. Okay? From there, we can look down here. If this is 60 and that's 100, how many more would be here? 40. So this is 60 plus 40 is going to give you 100. Okay? Now that we have that, now we can fill this one in because 10 plus 30 has to equal 40. And that's how you fill that chart in. And then that part in. And then from here, you add these 2 together to get 70. Okay? From there, we're going to find what's called the relative frequency of this chart, okay? So it says, this is example 2. Okay, so that's how you fill in a two-way table. Now I'm going to do example 2 on relative frequency ideas. So it says the two-way table shows the number of students that do or do not, so do or do not do chores at home and whether they receive an allowance or not. So you have 4 different things there. Allowance, no allowance, chores, no chores. It says 13 students did chores and had an allowance. 3 students had chores with no allowance, so that's a total of 16 altogether. All right? So no chores and allowance is 5. No chores and no allowance is 4, so that's a total of 9. From there, we can add this together and get 25, and we fill the rest of this in. So 13 and 5 is 18 here, okay? And 3 and 4 is 7. We want to put that right underneath that because we're going to now find, we already got that. We're going to find the relative frequency. Now it says, find and interpret the relative frequency of students in the survey by columns. That's important because we're only looking by columns. Columns are here and here. So we're going to take 13 and divide by 18. All right. We're going to take 5 divide by 18 because we're looking at columns. We're going to take 3 divide by 7 and 4 divide by 7, and that will give us our frequency. Okay. So here's my calculator. I'm going to slide this over so you can see it. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit so you can see me doing this. Okay, so clear. So 13 divided by 18. So 13 divided by 18 gives me 0.72. So that goes right here, 0.72. That's your relative frequency of the number of people that have chores, that like do chores and have an allowance, 0.72. 5 out of 18, so 5 divided by 18 is 0.28. Okay, round it to 2 decimals, so 0.28. And then 18 divided by 18 is always going to be 1 because it has to equal 100%. So then you kind of add, what is 72 plus 28? That's 100. Okay, so that should be added, that should add up. Now let's do 3 divided by 7 on this side. So 3 divided by 7 is 0.43. Remember, round it to 2 places. 0.43 right here. And then 4 divided by 7 gives you 0.57 right there. And this adds down to 1. 0.43 plus 0.57 is 100%. All right, so let's move down and do the next table. And I'm just going to slide it down a little bit. Clear this. Next table. The two-way table shows the number of students that message on a daily basis. Find and interpret the relative frequencies of students in this survey by rows. So now we're going to do rows. Rows are to the right. So we did columns down. Now we're going to do rows across. First of all, we got to total everything. So 59 plus 59 is 118. This goes here. Whoops. Slide it over underneath that. 118. Okay. 25 and 41. 25 plus 41. Even though we're not doing the columns, I total them anyways. Okay. Now let's total the rows. So we did, last time we did the columns. Relative frequency of the columns. This time we're going to do the relative frequency of the rows. So we're going to do this right here. And we're going to do this right here. Even though I'm doing all the totals. So 59 and 25, 59 plus 25 equals 84. So that goes right here. 84. And let me zoom in a little bit. Whoops, that's out. Okay. So I want to go back. I want you to see your calculator as well. There we go. So 59 plus 41 is 100. So that's a total of 184. Okay. So that's how you do that table. Now I want to find the relative frequency of the rows. So I'm going to go 59 divided by 84, 25 divided by 84, 59 divided by 100, and 41 divided by 100. Okay? So 59 divided by 84, go across, you get 0.70. 25 divided by 84, pretty easy, 0.30. And that should equal 1. Now I would put it over here, but I don't have room. It would equal 1, just like I put it right here, 1 and 1. 59 now divided by 100, as you should know, is 0.59. And 41 divided by 100 is 0.41. And those two should add to a 100 as well. Okay? With that, I'm going to let you finish this one here. We could do this together. It's going to take a little longer. So let's try this. And my time, I'm at 8 minutes. So I'm going to do this so you can have everything. So this says, the Venn diagram shows the number of students that exercise in different ways. Construct a two-way table that displays the data. Find and interpret the relative frequency by column. So we want to do by column. So we want to do this column. And we want to do this column. So this is how you set everything up, column and column eventually. So it says we have joggers and we have no jog. Okay? So we got jogging, no jog, and we have aerobics and no aerobics. Okay? So now we're going to figure out where everything goes. Now this is, of course, the total. So how many joggers that also do aerobics? Joggers, aerobics, there are 8 of them. So that would go here. Okay, no aerobics but jog. No aerobics but jog. So no aerobics, none of that, but jog is 24. Okay. aerobics that don't jog. So aerobics that don't jog is going to be 13 right here. Okay, I got to slide this over because I got to do the relative frequencies too. Sorry, this is 8. Put it over here and put a colon. Okay, because remember we got to do the regular frequencies of the column. All right, and then no aerobics and no jog, which would be right here. That's a 5 sitting out here. None of that. Okay, so that's 5 there. And the total, so I'm going to total everything. 8 plus 13, 21. 24 and 5 is 29. So that's a total of 10, 50. Right here. Even though we're not using that, but that we want to total that. Now I want to total the columns because we got to do the relative frequencies. So 8 and 24 is 32. And 13 and 5 is 18. Now we're going to do the relative frequencies of the columns. So we're going to go 8 divided by 32, 24 divided by 32. That would be that column. Then we're going to go 13 divided by 18, 5 divided by 18, and that would be that column. So let's do that. So 8 divided by 32 gives you a relative frequency of 0.24 or 25, sorry. So 25% of the time aerobics people jog. Okay? No aerobics and jogging, that would be 24 out of 32. 24 divided by 32 gives you 0.75. So 75% of the time people don't do aerobics that jog. That makes sense. And 1.00 because 0.25 and 0.75 add up to 100%. Slide this over and make this a little cleaner. So now we're going to do 13 divided by 18 and 5 divided by 18. So 13 divided by 18, that is 0.72. 0.72. Okay, that's the people that do aerobics that don't jog. Okay, that would make sense. I don't know why, but it does. 5 divided by 18 is 0.27. I'm going to go 0.28, rounding it. Okay, so 28% of the people don't do aerobics and don't jog, and then that they surveyed. And then you add these two to get 1. So 0.72 plus 0.28 is 1.00. We're done with our homework. You can do all of that together, all right? 12 minutes, but that's done. 12 minutes for your homework. That's a lot less than in the class. All right, get it all done. Have a good day.